This long Rapunzel-like plant is called Ceropegia linearis subspecies woodii, and it's actually become a pretty common plant. It's also called string of hearts because it has these really heart-shaped leaves, and these are several cuttings that I took off a much larger Ceropegia that I have growing in my southwest facing window, but it is so large and so tangled around all of my other plants that I couldn't remove that one. So this one I have growing in a northeast facing window, very different light, in my bathroom, and it actually took me about an hour to untangle this plant several months ago because it was all wrapped up into itself, and right now I'm taking care not to actually tie it into knots, which is very common for this particular plant. They're very easy to propagate, however. You'll notice these little nodes, and they have these little nodes also as root nodes too, and you could actually cut right below one of those nodes, and you could put them into water propagation, into sphagnum, or you could actually lay them on a potting medium and they'll propagate on the ready. As far as fertilizing goes, actually, I don't think I've ever really fertilized my Ceropegia, but you could actually do maybe a low succulent or cacti fertilizer, 3-4-7 on an annual basis. They don't need a tremendous amount of fertilization. It's always good practice to actually fertilize your plants, but you'll find that some of them need it more than others. This is a pretty quick grower, however. I mean, I have had my one growing for maybe 4 years now, and it is so long. And like I said, it kind of like, I've seen photos of people's that are just kind of draping around their fireplace and into their windows and everything along those lines. As far as lighting conditions, like I said, I'm growing one about a foot away from a northeast facing window, which is not a tremendous amount of light, and I have another one growing in a southwest facing window with a lot of light, and both of them are doing quite well. So I think that this one's a relatively versatile one. And as far as pests go, in my southwest facing window one, I did see some mealy bugs on it, which I have to take care of. And so I do think that these are probably susceptible to mealy bugs, but that's actually quite common. If you have any type of succulent plant, oftentimes you'll find that mealy bugs tend to like those. Otherwise, I'd say that this is pretty resilient, and like I said, if you have one that has a lot of mealybugs, you could always take some cuttings and start over again with this plant. And I think that's some of the beauty of some of the plants, that you could just start all over again because they are so easy to propagate. In relation to the water, I'm really watering in relation to the amount of light that I'm giving it. So for instance, this one that's growing in a northeast facing window, I'm watering pretty much like once a week, whereas the one in a southwest facing window, during the height of the summer months, I'm watering it probably twice a week because it just soaks up all that water and dries up fairly easily because it's under the heat and the intensity of the sun. Otherwise, I think this is a great plant to grow, especially if you're looking for a very long one, a little more Rapunzel-like. And as long as you could manage untying it and untangling it, then I think that this is a great plant for you to try.